Today on DC News Now, the cold is on its way to the DMV. Meteorologist Damon Matson is tracking temps in the Weather Center.
It's the countdown to Election Day, just 1 week away. We break down the biggest races ahead.
On three, ready, break.
And later, football wouldn't be football without the iconic huddle. How a local university has deep ties to making huddle history. And we're helping you stay safe before heading out the door Halloween night.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good Tuesday afternoon, everyone, and happy Halloween. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at noon. I'm Ben Dennis in for Mark Hall. Meteorologist Damon Matson joins us with a quick check on the cold coming in. Damon, if you don't like the frigid temps, you're in for a fright.
Yes, you are. A little scary out there for those warm weather lovers. As we noticed that cold front, strong cold front at that, finally crossed through the region last night. The wind was out there, the temperatures were falling, and today it's not going to get much warmer than it already is. Check it out. Those current temperatures right now, we're sitting in the mid 50s in DC and a couple of other lower 50s out in Manassas, Leesburg, Waldorf. But then for the large majority of the DMV, we're talking temperatures still in the middle to upper 40s. What a change given the fact that we were just in the 80s across parts of the region yesterday. So we finally got this colder air to spread out over the entire DMV, and it's going to be here to stay for a little while. Now, the good news, at least for this afternoon, is those blustery winds we dealt with last night, they are no longer a factor, at least in the short term. But by later on tonight, that is likely to change. Now, here we go. As we go through the rest of the afternoon, there you have temperatures. They do not get out of the lower to middle 50s in and around DC, not out of the upper 40s back toward the Shenandoah Valley and the Allegheny front, with cooler air on the way for later on tonight. And this is not the coldest it's going to get, folks. This is for Wednesday night going into Thursday morning. We have a widespread freeze watch that is likely to turn into a freeze warning, with temperatures possibly dropping into the 20s. So we have a couple of cold days and nights ahead of us here, but when could things finally start to warm back up again? We'll have a full look at your forecast here in just a bit.
Plenty ahead, Damon. Thank you. Happening right now, D.C. leaders are working with Metro to find a fix for the transit system's major budget problems. Metro is facing a deficit of around $750 million, and that number could certainly grow. Metro officials met with D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser and the D.C. City Council this morning to discuss that deficit. WMATA leaders say that bus and rail ridership dropped significantly during the pandemic, but those numbers are starting to rebound. However, they're expected to remain at around 75% at pre-pandemic ridership levels. WMATA leaders say if they have to make major service cuts, certain areas and customers will feel the hit harder than others.
If we went into the 33% or the 60% cut scenario, bus is going to take it really hard. DC would be disproportionately probably impacted from the bus side on those major cuts for sure, because of the bus network is so important to the district.
Inflation increased operating costs over the last several years also hurt Metro's bottom line. Metro says even if ridership fully recovers, the deficit could grow to around $1 billion by 2035. Developing now in the district, the CVS store on H Street in Northeast has a new policy to curb retail theft. That means some items are no longer on the shelves. Instead, you can see photos of the items and then ask an employee to get it for you from their storage room. The policy comes as thieves continue to leave shelves bare at some CVS stores across the district.
Prices are crazy. I just looked at some of the prices. I mean, I'm able to afford them, but there is a lot of people who is not able to afford it.
I understand that it's a problem in the district, but I think we have to look at it as a countrywide problem. And I think it's maybe a deeper problem as far as the economy.
A spokesperson for CVS tells us the company is working with D.C. police and D.C.'s Attorney General to break up several major shoplifting rings. And General Motors has a tentative deal with the United Auto Workers Union. It comes several days after tentative agreements were reached with Ford and Stellantis. Under that deal, workers at 3 companies will return to work pending votes to ratify those agreements. Those votes will take place over the next 2 weeks. The main provisions of the deals are largely the same at all three automakers, including higher pay raises and better retirement plans. While this is a major breakthrough, not all auto workers in our area are ready to celebrate. It's still a waiting game at the Volvo-owned Mack truck plant in Hagerstown. That's where picket lines have been active for more than a month.
We want to make sure that we represent them and help back them in their striking efforts to be able to get a living wage and good retirement and their health care taken care of.
Now more than ever, it's so important that employees have power in the workplace. And so we're going to stand here with the union workers until their needs are met.
General Motors maintains it has bargained in good faith and is glad it reached a settlement. Mack truck workers continue to fight for a solution. We're only 1 week away from Election Day in Virginia. Every seat in the House of Delegates and Senate are up for grabs. In-person voters will hit the polls a week from today. And DC News Now's Liberty Zabala was in Arlington with some of the biggest races to keep an eye on.
Well, it's the countdown to Election Day, and the Virginia General Assembly is on the line. And this could be one of the most closely watched races in the country. So let's break down some of the key races on the ballot ahead. Republicans are hoping to win a majority in both chambers of the state legislature, while Democrats are hoping to retake the House. Right now, the Virginia House is sitting at 50 Republicans and 46 Democrats with 4 vacant seats. All 100 seats in the House and 40 seats in the Senate are up for grabs. In Arlington, voters will decide 2 seats for the Arlington County Board and 1 school board seat. Meanwhile, Board of Supervisors seats and school board seats are on the ballot in Fairfax, Loudoun, and Prince Williams counties. DC News Now spoke with Delegate Danica Rome, who is seeking a state Senate seat. She will face off against Republican candidate and former police officer Bill Wolf.
I'm ready to go on day 1. Better today than it was 6 years ago, and it will only continue getting better.
And Virginia is now offering same-day voter registration, and same-day voters will be using a provisional ballot. For now, in Arlington, Liberty Zabala, DC News Now.
Our thanks to Liberty. Staying in the Commonwealth, good news for Virginia commuters. Virginia Railway Express could offer Saturday service starting next year. This would be the first for VRE. The weekend service, along with a 5% price hike, is included in the agency's proposed 2025 fiscal budget, which starts in July. VRE Operations Board is expected to vote on the budget in December, and if passed, it would need approval from its parent commissions and host railroads. And we're stretching your dollar. Happening now, Amtrak is changing the way it sells tickets. It could make your next ride cheaper. Customers can now buy the Flex option or Value option. Amtrak says Flex allows you a full refund if you need to cancel or change your plans for free at any time. The Value option offers tickets at low prices, but once you book, you cannot change the dates. If you do cancel, Amtrak says you will only get a 75% refund. And as basketball season approaches, the Georgetown women's basketball team will be without their first-year head coach, Tasha Butts. She passed away 1 week ago. Game Night's Brandy Flores caught up with the Hoyas to understand how that they are leaning on one another through this difficult time.
We never thought it was going to be a situation like this.
On October 23rd, the Georgetown women's basketball team lost their head coach, Tasha Butts. She passed away after a 2-year battle with breast cancer.
You know, we knew she was in and out of the hospital for a little while. We thought, you know, just like she fought it and beat it 2 years ago, we thought she was going to be right back.
Hired this past April, Butts' time with the Hoyas was short, but she left behind a dedicated coaching staff and her legacy.
She did really love and care about us, and we were taking that motivation as a reason for us to get in the gym and be better for her. And she has and brought in a fantastic staff who emulate her values.
Coming in, I thought I was going to be associate head coach. Come in and help Coach Tasha out. It was something different, and she needed my help in another way.
And in honor of their late coach, the Hoyas' mantra this season is Tasha Tough.
Georgetown is Tasha Tough, and we will be proving that every single night through our defense, through our energy, through our resilience, and every day we come in the gym, that's who we are aspiring to be.
The legacy that she built in a short amount of time here was tremendous. I think she left an impression on these young women. She left an impression on this program that's going to live forever.
As the Hoyas prepare for the upcoming season, one of their star players, senior Kelsey Ransom, was named to the All-Big East Conference team.
I'm in great company. Everyone on that list are fantastic players, so it just motivates me to get in the gym more and really be on my grind to prove everyone right. It's great, but there's a lot of work to do, and I'm excited for the season to start. Despite the tragedy of losing their head coach, the team is leaning on one another and receiving amazing support from the community to get through this season. The support we've gotten from other sports programs here has been amazing. Like the amount of just love we've been receiving is just what Georgetown is really all about. And coming to our games is a great way to support us and just help us feel supported in McDonough in that gym.
Hopefully everybody bounces back quickly. Staying in your sports news for the Commanders, a big trade alert this afternoon for D.C. According to Adam Schefter of ESPN, the Commanders and the Chicago Bears have agreed to a trade that sends defensive end Montez Sweat to the Windy City. In exchange, the Commanders get a 2024 second-round pick, according to sources. Sweat is in the last year of his contract.